My name is Ivy Julia Clark, and for as long as I can remember, I've been the shadow to my twin sister Lily's son. At 23, I'm an aerospace engineer, the youngest at a U.S. government agency, my days filled with blueprints and calculations that send satellites into the stars. But my family? They think I'm still scraping by on a farm, uneducated, unworthy of their attention. They don't know me, never have, and I've learned to live with that. The phone in my hand buzzes with a message from my mother, her words sharp. "You better show up to Lily's graduation, Ivy. Don't embarrass us." I stare at the screen, my heart a quiet ache, and think of the girl I was, the one they sent away at 9, the one they never cared to know. Before we dive into today's story, we would like to thank you for joining us on Tidal Afterglow. Your support means the world, so please like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with our gripping tales of justice and triumph. Now, let's jump into the story. I grew up in a small town outside Seattle, in a house that always felt too small for the battles Lily and I waged. We're twins, but you'd never guess it. Lily was all golden curls, dimpled smiles, and chatter that drew people like moths to a flame. She was the sunshine, the one with friends who trailed her like ducklings, her laughter filling every room. I was the bookworm, my dark hair always in a messy braid, my nose buried in novels or science magazines, my voice too soft to compete with her sparkle. We didn't look alike, didn't act alike, and our parents made their choice clear early on. Lily was their favorite, the daughter they paraded, while I was the one they dismissed, my quiet nature and inconvenience. Our fights started young, over toys, attention, the smallest things. Lily would tease me, her words sharp as thorns, and I'd retreat to my books, unable to match her quick tongue. When I tried to stand up for myself, our parents, Mom with her tired sighs, Dad with his stern frown, would side with Lily, their eyes skimming over me like I was a smudge on glass. "Ivy, stop being difficult," Mom would say, while Lily smirked behind her. By 9, the fights had worn them down, and their solution was simple. Send me away. Not Lily, the golden child, but me, the problem. I remember the day they told me, the air heavy with summer heat, my suitcase packed by Mom's impatient hands. "You're going to live with Aunt Clara in New Zealand," Dad said, his voice flat, no room for argument. "It'll be better this way." Lily stood in the doorway, her arms crossed, a triumphant glint in her eyes. I wanted to scream, to beg to stay, but my throat closed up, my words lost as always. Mom hugged me briefly, her embrace stiff, and Dad patted my shoulder, their eyes already drifting back to Lily. I was 9, and they were done with me. The flight to New Zealand was a blur of tears and airplane hum, my small hands clutching a worn copy of A Wrinkle in Time. Aunt Clara met me at the Auckland airport, her face weathered but kind, her eyes a warm brown that seemed to see right through my hurt. She was Mom's older sister, a widow who ran a sheep farm on the outskirts of a small town called Teiaroha, a place of rolling green hills and endless skies. "Welcome home, Ivy," she said, her voice soft but steady, and I felt something loosen in my chest, a knot I hadn't known was there. The farm was nothing like Seattle's cramped chaos. It was wide open, alive with the bleat of sheep, the rustle of wind through eucalyptus trees, the scent of earth and hay. My room was a small attic with a slanted ceiling, a quilt Clara had made draped over the bed, a window that framed the stars at night. At first, I was lonely, my heart raw from my family's rejection. I'd lie awake, wondering why I wasn't enough, why Lily's light always outshone mine. But Clara changed that. She was everything my parents weren't, patient, present, proud. She'd wake me at dawn to help with chores, teaching me to shear sheep, mend fences, bake bread from scratch. "You're stronger than you know, Ivy," she'd say, her hands guiding mine as we worked. She saw my love for books and filled the house with them, science texts, novels, star charts that sparked a fire in me. When I devoured my schoolwork faster than my classmates, she drove me to the library in town, her old truck rattling, and let me lose myself in physics and astronomy. "The sky's yours, girl," she'd tell me, pointing to the Milky Way, and I believed her. School was my refuge. The local primary school was small, the teachers kind but unprepared for a girl like me. By 11, I was solving high school math problems, my mind hungry for more. Clara noticed, hiring a tutor to keep up with me, paying out of her own pocket since my parents never sent a dime. I finished high school at 14, my exams earning me a full scholarship to the University of Auckland, one of the best in the region. My parents didn't know. Clara had called to tell them, but they brushed her off, saying they were focused on Lily's private school fees. I didn't care. Clara was at my graduation, her cheers louder than anyone's, her eyes shining with pride. University was a whirlwind. I studied aerospace engineering, my days filled with equations, wind tunnels, and dreams of spacecraft. I was the youngest in my class, 15 at the start, but my professor saw my potential, pushing me to excel. I graduated at 19, valedictorian, my speech about reaching the stars earning a standing ovation. Clara was there again, her quilted jacket out of place among the suits, her hug fierce and warm. I landed a job at a U.S. government aerospace agency at 20, moving back to Seattle to work on satellite systems, my life a quiet triumph no one in my family knew about. They didn't know because they never asked. My parents hadn't visited me in New Zealand, hadn't called, hadn't sent a single letter in 14 years. Lily would call sometimes, her voice dripping with mockery, taunting me about her friends, her popularity, her real life. Still mucking sheep, Ivy, she'd laugh, and I'd hang up, my hands steady, her words no longer cutting as deep. I kept my life private, easy since my parents didn't claim me as their daughter. Their friends, our relatives, none knew I existed, my face as strangers now that I was grown. Only Clara knew my story, my achievements, my heart. I live in a penthouse now, its glass walls overlooking Seattle's skyline, my sports car parked below, a far cry from Clara's rattling truck. At work, I'm Engineer Clark, the youngest on the team, my name on patents, my projects shaping the future of space exploration. My colleagues respect me, students I mentor look up to me, but my family? They think I'm a farm girl, maybe a college dropout, here for some low-rent university they never bothered to verify. The message from Mom stares back at me, her threat clear, show up or else. Lily's call came first, her voice smug as she invited me to her graduation from a fancy private university, her tone daring me to come so she could flaunt her degree, her life, her victory. I refused, polite but firm, not wanting to step into their trap. But Mom's message, her insistence, changes things. They want me there to mock me, to parade Lily's success against my supposed failure. I could ignore them, keep my distance as always. But something shifts in me, a spark of defiance, maybe, or curiosity to see how far their blindness goes. I set the phone down, my decision made. I'll go to the graduation, not for them, but for me. Let them mock, let them laugh. They don't know who I am, but maybe it's time they did. I think of Clara, her voice steady. You're stronger than you know. I smile, the ache in my heart easing. Seems like I'm going to a graduation. The morning of Lily's graduation dawns gray and heavy, Seattle's sky a mirror to the weight in my chest. I'm Ivy Julia Clark, 23, an aerospace engineer who designs satellites that dance among the stars, but today, I'm just the girl my family sent away at 9, the twin they mock, the daughter they don't know. My mother's message still burns in my mind. You better show up, Ivy. Don't embarrass us. Lily's call, her voice dripping with smug triumph, echoes too, daring me to come so she can rub her victory in my face. I could have stayed away, kept my life's quiet orbit intact, but their insistence pulls me here, a mix of defiance and curiosity driving me to face them. I dress deliberately, faded jeans, a gray sweater, sneakers scuffed from lab work. No dress, no heels, nothing to suggest I'm trying to fit into their world. My dark hair is loose, framing my face in waves, a contrast to the tight braid of my childhood. I glance at my reflection in the penthouse mirror, my brown eyes steady but guarded. I'm not here to impress them. I'm here to see how far their blindness goes, to let them see the Ivy they dismissed, even if they don't understand her. The university campus is an hour's drive, its sprawling lawns and brick buildings buzzing with families in their Sunday best, balloons bobbing, cameras flashing. I park my silver sports car, a sleek convertible I bought after my first big project bonus, in a far lot, avoiding the crowds. The ceremony's already started when I arrive, the hum of speeches filtering through the open doors of the auditorium. I'm late on purpose, slipping in quietly to avoid the pre-ceremony chatter, the hugs and photos I'd never be part of. The usher points me to a row near the back, where my parents sit, their faces tight with anticipation for Lily's moment. I slide into the seat beside Mom, my jeans brushing against her navy dress, my sneakers silent on the polished floor. She turns, her eyes narrowing, her lips a thin line. "You're late, Ivy," she hisses, her voice low but sharp. "Couldn't you at least try to be respectful?" Dad, in an ill-fitting suit, glares over her shoulder. "This is Lily's day. Don't ruin it." I nod, my face blank, my hands folded in my lap. I expected this. Their scorn, their assumption that I'm here to disrupt rather than comply. I don't argue. There's no point. They've never listened, not when I was 9, begging to stay, not when Aunt Clara called to share my achievements. I settle back, my eyes scanning the auditorium, its high ceiling draped with banners, the stage lined with faculty in black robes. The air smells of flowers and anticipation, a stark contrast to the labs I'm used to, where the scent of metal and ozone grounds me. A few rows ahead, students in caps and gowns whisper, their heads turning toward me. One points, her eyes wide, and I catch fragments of their hushed tones. "Is that? No way here?" I act oblivious, my gaze fixed on the stage, but my heart quickens. I recognize a few faces, engineering majors I met during a campus tour I led at the agency last year. They're not here for Lily. They know me as Engineer Clark, the youngest at the aerospace agency, the one who walked them through satellite systems with a quiet confidence I've honed over years. I push the thought aside, focusing on the ceremony, unwilling to let their recognition stir hope I don't trust. The dean's voice drones on, calling names, each graduate crossing the stage to cheers and applause. Families shout, wave signs, their pride a tangible force. I watch, detached, my mind drifting to Aunt Clara's farm, her cheers at my high school graduation at 14, her quilted jacket out of place, but her love unwavering. She'd be here if I'd asked, but I didn't want her to see this, to witness the family that discarded me, the sister who mocks me still. When Lily's name is called, Lily Rose Clark, the auditorium erupts. My parents leap to their feet, their cheers louder than any before, their faces glowing with pride. "That's our girl," Dad shouts, his voice hoarse, while Mom claps frantically, tears in her eyes. Lily strides across the stage, her golden curls bouncing under her cap, her smile radiant, her gown flowing like she's born for this moment. She waves to the crowd, her eyes finding our parents, her grin widening. The sting hits me hard, a knife twisting in my chest. They never cheered for me, never showed up, never cared. I swallow the hurt, my hands clenched, and think of Clara's voice. "You're stronger than you know." It steadies me, a lifeline in this sea of their devotion to Lily. The ceremony drags on, names blurring, until the final graduate crosses the stage. The dean announces the end, and the crowd surges, families rushing to embrace their graduates on the lawn outside. I follow my parents slowly, my sneakers scuffing the grass, my hands in my pockets. They don't look back, their eyes fixed on Lily, who's already surrounded by friends in a flurry of hugs and laughter. I stand at the edge, an outsider in their world, my presence a footnote they'd rather erase. Lily spots me, her smile sharpening, and she breaks away, her friends trailing like a flock of brightly dressed birds. She throws her arms around Mom and Dad, her embrace theatrical, her laughter loud. "We did it," she squeals, kissing their cheeks, her cap tilting. They beam, their hands on her shoulders, their pride a wall I can't breach. Then her eyes lock on me, her smile turning predatory. "Ivy," she says, her voice too bright, too loud. "You actually came. I didn't think you'd bother." I nod, my voice calm. "Congratulations, Lily." She smirks, stepping closer, her gown rustling. Guys, this is Ivy, my twin sister, she announces to her friends, her tone dripping with mockery. She's been what, living on a farm? Not exactly college material, right? Her friends, a mix of girls in pastel dresses and guys in pressed shirts, exchange glances, their smiles tight. One, a brunette with a pearl necklace, tilts her head. Twins? Really? You don't look alike. Lily laughs, tossing her curls. Oh, we're nothing alike. I'm the brains, the beauty, the whole package. Ivy's well, she's Ivy. The crowd around us grows, parents of Lily's friends joining, their faces curious. A man in a blazer, a friend of Dad's, chuckles. Twins, huh? So Lily's graduating, but you're not? How's that work? Mom steps in, her smile forced. Ivy grew up with my sister on a farm in New Zealand. She's different. Not like Lily, who's always been our star. Dad nods, his arm around Lily. Lily's at a top university, full ride, top of her class. Ivy's just figuring things out. Their words are a familiar sting, their laughter a chorus I've heard before. They paint me as the failure, the farm girl, their pity laced with scorn. I keep quiet, my face blank, my hands still in my pockets. Let them talk. Let them think they know me. I've learned silence is my shield, a lesson from years of Lily's taunts, her calls mocking my life on the farm. Lily's friends whisper, their eyes darting to me. She didn't even go to college? One asks, loud enough for others to hear. Wow, twins, but so different. The laughter swells, parents joining in, their amusement a weight pressing against me. I could walk away, drive back to my penthouse, leave them to their delusions. But before I can move, a voice cuts through the chatter, bright and excited. Engineer Clark? Is that you? I turn, and there they are, 5 engineering graduates in their gowns, their eyes gleaming with awe. The leader, a tall girl with braided hair, grins wide, her cap askew. It is you. Oh my gosh, you came to our graduation? My parents freeze, Lily's smirk faltering. I smile, genuine warmth breaking through my guard. Hey, good to see you all. Congratulations. The girl, Sophia, I remember from the agency tour, rushes forward, her friends close behind. We didn't expect you here. Guys, this is Ivy Clark, the youngest engineer at the aerospace agency. She gave us that amazing tour last year, showed us the satellite systems. She's our inspiration. The crowd goes silent, the laughter dying, eyes turning to me. Lily steps forward, her voice sharp. Wait, what? You guys know Ivy? Like my Ivy? Sophia blinks, confused. Your Ivy? She's Engineer Clark, the one who's, like, a legend at the agency. She started working there at 20, youngest ever. Mom's smile vanishes. Dad's arm drops from Lily's shoulder. Lily laughs, a nervous edge to it. No, you've got it wrong. This is my twin sister, Ivy. She's never been to college, barely finished high school. She's been on a farm, not whatever you're talking about. The students frown, exchanging glances. Sophia shakes her head. No way, that's Ivy Julia Clark. We're sure. She's the one who explained orbital mechanics like it was poetry. I stay quiet, my heart pounding, not out of fear but something else, pride, maybe, or the thrill of their ignorance unraveling. The crowd murmurs, parents whispering, Lily's friends looking uneasy. Then another voice joins, deep and authoritative. Ivy Clark? Well, I'll be damned. Professor Nguyen, my old thermodynamics teacher, strides over, his gray hair peeking under his cap, his smile wide. Behind him are 2 other professors, Dr. Patel and Dr. Ruiz, who taught me at the University of Auckland. They recognize me instantly, their faces lighting up. Engineer Clark, Nguyen says, shaking my hand. What a pleasure to see you here. How's the agency treating you? I nod, professional but warm. It's good, Professor. Working on a new satellite system. How about you? Still terrorizing freshmen with those heat transfer problems. He laughs, the sound carrying. You were my best student, Ivy. Valedictorian at 19, full scholarship, the youngest in the region. We still talk about you in the department. Dr. Patel chimes in, her eyes warm. Ivy was a prodigy. Her thesis on propulsion systems is still cited in our classes. How's your Aunt Clara, dear? We never met your parents or sister. Didn't know you had family here. The crowd gasps, the whispers growing louder. I keep my cool, my voice steady. Clara's doing great. Thanks for asking. Mom steps forward, her face red. There's a mistake here. Ivy didn't go to college. She's been with my sister, working on a farm. You must mean someone else. Dad nods, his voice tight. She's our daughter. We'd know if she was an engineer. Lily laughs again, shrill now. Exactly. This is Ivy, my twin. She's not some genius. She's nobody. The professors exchange glances, Nguyen's smile fading. No mistake. This is Ivy Julia Clark, graduated top of her class at Auckland, started at the aerospace agency at 20. We taught her ourselves. Sophia's group nods, one guy pulling out his phone. Look, here's the agency's website. Ivy Clark, lead engineer on the Orion satellite. That's her picture. The crowd surges closer, phones out, parents and students craning to see. The whispers turn to gasps, then chatter, the air electric with shock. She's an engineer? Youngest ever? They didn't know. Lily's friends step back, their faces pale, while parents who mocked me minutes ago look away, embarrassed. I stand there, my hands still in my pockets, my heart racing but my face calm. I didn't plan this, didn't want their spotlight, but here it is, and I won't shrink from it. The students swarm me, their voices overlapping. Can we get a photo, Engineer Clark? You're why I chose aerospace. Tell us about the satellites. I smile, nodding, and pose with them, first individually, then in a group with the professors, their pride a warmth I haven't felt from my family in years. Cameras flash, students cheer, parents watch in stunned silence. Lily's face is a mask of fury, her eyes glistening, her cap clutched in her hands. Mom and Dad stand frozen, their faces flushed, their pride in Lily overshadowed by the crowd's awe for me. I glance at them, their darkened eyes meeting mine, and feel nothing. No anger, no triumph, just a quiet resolve. They force me here, thinking they'd mock me, but the truth has its own voice. I didn't come to steal Lily's day, but I won't apologize for existing, for succeeding despite their neglect. The students keep talking, asking about my work, my projects, their enthusiasm infectious. I answer, my voice steady, sharing stories of late nights in the lab, the thrill of a successful launch. The professors join in, praising my discipline, my innovation. The crowd grows, other graduates drifting over, drawn by the buzz. I hear whispers of disdain for my family. What kind of parents don't know their kid's a genius? And see heads shake, eyes narrow at Mom and Dad. Finally, I step back, glancing at my watch. I've got some work at the lab, I say, my voice light. Congrats again, everyone. Keep reaching for the stars. The students cheer, Sophia leading them as they escort me to my car, their voices a chorus of admiration. I unlock the convertible, its silver curves gleaming under the sun, and slide in, the engine purring to life. My family watches from a distance, their faces a mix of shock and shame, Lily's arms crossed, her eyes puffy. I don't look back as I drive off, the wind in my hair, the campus fading in my rear view. They wanted me here. Now they can deal with the consequences. The hum of my penthouse's floor-to-ceiling windows vibrates with Seattle's pulse. The city's lights a silent symphony I've claimed as my own. I'm Ivy Julia Clark, 23, an aerospace engineer whose work sends satellites into the cosmos, my name now a spark in conversations I never sought. It's been a week since Lily's graduation, where my quiet life, high school at 14, degree at 19, agency prodigy at 20, exploded into public view, leaving my family's ignorance exposed. My phone glows with their calls, Mom's sharp demands, Dad's gruff insistence, Lily's venomous pleas, but I let them go to voicemail, their voices a noise I've long since tuned out. They don't want me. They want to claw back the pride I didn't mean to steal. I focus on the blueprint before me, The Orion satellites curves a lifeline, but their shadow looms, a weight I can't ignore. Work is my refuge, a place where I'm Engineer Clark, not the Ivy they sent away at 9. The Aerospace Agency's lab is a maze of monitors and metal, its air sharp with solder and ambition. I'm spearheading the Orion project, a satellite to track ocean currents for climate research, my days a blur of thermal simulations and team huddles. This morning, I'm at the cleanroom console, my hands gloved, tweaking a sensor array. "Ivy, your calibration's spot on," says Dr. Nguyen, my mentor, his gray eyes crinkling over his mask. Sarah, a junior engineer, hovers nearby, her notebook open. "How do you catch that power fluctuation?" she asks, her voice eager. I explain, my words precise, and she scribbles, her respect a quiet balm to the chaos outside these walls. At 23, I'm the youngest here, but my patents, 3 for propulsion systems, speak louder than my age. Yesterday, I led a briefing for NASA collaborators, my slides detailing Orion's solar efficiency, their nods of validation I've earned through sleepless nights. "Clark, you're setting the bar," one said, and I smiled, my heart racing. The farm girl I was a distant memory. But fame creeps in uninvited. A colleague shows me a news app, Seattle prodigy shocks family at twins' graduation. The article recounts the ceremony, students calling me their hero, professors praising my valedictorian days, my parents' stunned denial. Social media's worse. Hashtag Ivy Clark trends with posts like "Genius Engineer, Clueless Parents." I'm invited to a national aerospace conference, my face on the agency's site beside Orion. It's thrilling, but it's a spotlight on my family's failure, their neglect a public disgrace. I think of Aunt Clara, my anchor across the Pacific. I video call her that evening, my laptop perched on the kitchen island, its marble cool under my arms. Her face appears, weathered but warm, her Tearoha farm a backdrop of green hills through her window. "Ivy, you're a star," she says, her voice thick with pride. "The whole town's talking about you." I laugh, pouring tea, the steam curling like my thoughts. "It's a circus, Clara. I didn't want this." She listens as I spill it all. Lily's mockery, my parents' cheers for her, the students' awe, the media frenzy. Her eyes darken when I mention my family's calls, their voicemails piling up like unpaid bills. "They're shameless," she says, her hands folding on her table. "They never deserved you." Clara's been my family since I landed in New Zealand, a scared 9-year-old clutching a wrinkle in time. I remember my first night on her farm, the attic room's slanted ceiling, the quilt she'd sewn. I was raw from my parents' rejection. Lily's smirk burned into me, but Clara's steady presence healed me. She taught me to shear sheep, to read star charts, to believe in myself. When I raced through school, she paid for tutors my parents wouldn't fund, drove me to Auckland for exams, her truck rattling. At my high school graduation at 14, she cheered louder than anyone, her quilted jacket a beacon. When I graduated university at 19, valedictorian, she hugged me fierce, whispering, "You're my star." My parents didn't know, Clara called them, but they dismissed her, focused on Lily's private school. "You going to face them?" Clara asks, pulling me back. "They won't stop calling." I sip my tea, the mug warm in my hands. "They want my address, want to talk." "I'm thinking about it. I could keep ignoring them, but you want closure," she finishes, her eyes knowing. "Do it for you, Ivy, not them." We talk longer, about her farm's new lambs, my satellite's launch timeline. I tell her about mentoring students, their eager questions, and she smiles, proud. When we hang up, I stare at the city, Clara's words a compass. "Do it for you." I'm not sure what closure looks like, but I know I can't hide forever. The next day, my phone buzzes again, Lily's number, her voicemail shrill. "Ivy, you're ruining everything. Everyone's talking about you, not me. Call us." Mom's next, her tone icy. "Give us your address, Ivy. We're coming." I delete them, my jaw tight, and head to work. The lab's alive, my team testing Orion's frame, the clang of tools grounding me. But the calls keep coming, a relentless tide. By noon, I'm in a meeting, discussing thruster specs, when Sarah slides her phone over a news alert. Engineer Clark to keynote aerospace conference. My stomach flips. The world sees me, but my family only sees their shame. Flashbacks pull me under. Lily's taunts, her calls mocking my farm life, her voice sharp. Still mucking sheep, Ivy? I remember our childhood fights, her stealing my books, her laughter as Mom and Dad sided with her. When they set me away at 9, Lily's triumph was a knife, her smirk as I boarded the plane a wound that scarred. They assumed I'd fail, told everyone at the graduation I was uneducated, a farm girl. When Clara called years ago to say I was moving to Seattle, their first words were, "We can't pay for her college. Lily's our priority." They didn't know I'd graduated, my degree framed in my penthouse, my career a universe they couldn't grasp. The media keeps digging. A radio show debates my story, caller shocked. What kind of parents don't know their kid's a genius? Students from the graduation post videos, me posing with them, their captions glowing, inspired by Engineer Clark. My agency's PR team pushes me to embrace it, scheduling a TED-style talk. I agree, but the attention feels like a mirror, reflecting my family's absence. At a mentorship session, a student asks about the graduation, her voice soft. "Did your family really not know?" I nod, keeping it brief. "They didn't ask," I say, and she frowns, her pity a sting I don't want. By week's end, my family's calls are a drumbeat. Dad's voicemail is blunt. "Ivy, this is ridiculous. Give us your address. We need to sort this out." I stare at the phone, my heart a tangle of anger and resolve. They don't want to know me, they want to silence me, to fix their reputation. But Clara's voice echoes. "Do it for you." I want to face them, to say what I've held back since I was 9, to see if they'll finally see me. I text Mom my address, my fingers steady, my breath calm. Let them come. Let them see the penthouse, the life I built without their dime or their love. I'm not the child they abandoned, the quiet girl they mocked. I'm Engineer Clark, a name that carries weight, a woman who's reached the stars. I return to my blueprints, Orion's lines of promise, and feel a fire kindling in me. They're coming, and I'm ready. The Seattle skyline shimmers through my penthouse windows, a cascade of lights that feels more like family than the people I'm about to face. I'm Ivy Julia Clark, 23, an aerospace engineer whose satellites orbit the stars. My name now a beacon in a world my parents and twin sister, Lily, never cared to know. It's been 10 days since Lily's graduation, where my life, high school at 14, degree at 19, agency prodigy at 20, unraveled their lies, leaving them humiliated before a crowd that cheered for me. Their calls haven't stopped, a barrage of voicemails demanding my address, my apology, my shame. I sent them my address yesterday, not out of hope but defiance, ready to show them the life I built without their love or their dime. Let them come. Let them see Engineer Clark, not the 9-year-old they banished. I'm ready to say what I've held back for 14 years. I stand in my living room, the marble floors cool under my bare feet, the glass walls reflecting my resolve. My Orion satellite blueprints rest on the dining table, a testament to the work that grounds me. I'm dressed simply, black jeans, a white blouse, my dark hair loose, but my confidence is steel, forged in labs, lecture halls, and Aunt Clara's unwavering belief. The intercom buzzes, sharp as a warning, and I take a breath, my heart steady. They're here. I open the door, and there they stand, Mom, Dad, and Lily, their faces a mix of awe and resentment as they step into my world. Mom's navy coat drips rain, her eyes darting to the crystal chandelier, the sleek sofa, the view of Puget Sound. Dad's suit hangs loose, his jaw tight, like he's swallowing words he doesn't dare speak. Lily's golden curls are limp, her eyes puffy, her designer dress creased, as if she's cried herself raw. They look small, their small-town arrogance dwarfed by the penthouse I earned through years of sweat and silence. "Welcome, family," I say, my voice calm, laced with an edge I don't hide. I gesture to the sofa, but they stand, their eyes roving, taking in the luxury they never imagined I could claim. Mom speaks first, her voice ablaid. Ivy, you've got a lot to answer for. You humiliated us at Lily's graduation, letting everyone think we're terrible parents. Why didn't you tell us about this engineering thing? Dad nods, his arms crossed, his face flushed. We've been mocked nonstop. Neighbors, friends, the news. They say we didn't know our own daughter's a genius. You should have told us, Ivy. Lily steps forward, her voice shaking, her eyes blazing. It was my day, Ivy. My graduation, my moment. But you showed up, let those students and professors worship you, stole my shine. Now I'm a joke, and you're all anyone talks about. You planned this, didn't you? I stand still, my hands in my pockets, their words a familiar sting, but they don't cut like they once did. They're not here to see me, to understand, to apologize. They're here to blame me for their shame, to demand I fix their wounded pride. I think of Clara's farm, her warm kitchen, her voice steady. You're stronger than you know. I think of the nights I studied under flickering lights, the scholarship that carried me to Auckland, the degree I earned at 19, the job I landed at 20. They know none of it because they never asked, never cared. You didn't know, I say, my voice even, cutting through their accusations. And that's not my fault. You sent me away at 9 because I fought with Lily, because I was the quiet one, the one you could erase. You never called, never visited, never sent a dime. You assumed I was scraping by on a farm, uneducated, a failure. You didn't ask, and I didn't owe you my life. Mom's face reddens, her hands clenching her purse. That's unfair, Ivy. We were raising Lily, giving her the best. You were fine with Clara. We thought you were happy there. Happy. I laugh, sharp and raw, the sound startling even me. I was 9, Mom. You shipped me to New Zealand, left me with Clara, and forgot me. She raised me, paid for my tutors, cheered at my graduations. You didn't know I finished high school at 14, got a full scholarship, graduated valedictorian at 19, started at the agency at 20. You didn't care to know. Dad shifts, his eyes avoiding mine, his voice low. We didn't know, okay? But you could have told us. You let us look like fools in front of everyone. I shake my head, my anger rising, controlled but fierce. It's not my job to tell you who I am. I was your daughter, and you chose Lily. At the graduation, you bragged about her, told everyone I was nothing, a farm girl who didn't go to college. Now you're mad because the truth came out? That's your failure, not mine. Lily's eyes flash, her voice shrill, her hands balled into fists. You're lying, Ivy. You planned this, showed up to ruin me. You've always hated me, always wanted to make me look bad. You're jealous. That's all this is. I meet her gaze, unflinching, my voice low but steady. I didn't want to go, Lily. You called, mocked me, dared me to come. Mom threatened me to show up. I went because you forced me, not to steal your day. Those students, those professors, they know me because I worked for it, because I built something despite you all. If that embarrasses you, that's on you. The room goes quiet, the rain's soft patter the only sound, my words hanging heavy between us. Mom's face twists, her voice cold as ice. You owe us, Ivy. You owe Lily. Look at this place. She gestures at the penthouse, her eyes greedy. You're doing so well, and we're struggling. We spent everything on Lily's tuition at that private university. She's our priority, but you can help us now. Lily nods, her eyes desperate, her voice cracking.
Yeah, Ivy.
You're some big-shot engineer. You can pay off our debts. It's the least you can do after ruining my graduation. I stare at them, their shamelessness a weight I've carried too long, now lifting as I see them clearly. They stand in my home, the space I earned through years of sacrifice, and demand my success to fix their mistakes, without a shred of remorse. I think of Clara, her calloused hands paying for my books while my parents sent nothing, her farm's endless hills where I found my strength. I think of the day they sent me away, Lily's smirk as I boarded the plane, Mom's stiff hug, Dad's averted eyes. They never gave me a dime, a word, a chance, and now they want my life to bail them out. No, I say, my voice firm, final, a line drawn in stone. You don't get to do this. You abandoned me at 9, left Clara to raise me, never paid a cent for my education, my life. Clara struggled, but she believed in me, and I owe her everything, not you. You chose Lily, poured all your money into her. Let her get a job, pay your debts. I'm done. Mom gasps, her hand to her chest, her eyes wide. We're your parents, Ivy.
You can't talk to us like that.
We're family. Family? I step closer, my voice low, fierce, every word a truth I've held too long. Family doesn't send a child away and forget her. Family doesn't mock her, ignore her, assume she's nothing. You were never my family, Clara was. I'm fine without you, always have been. Dad's face hardens, his voice a growl. Apologize, Ivy.
To us, to Lily.
You've gone too far. I shake my head, a smile breaking through. Not of joy, but of freedom, a weight lifting from my shoulders. No apologies. You forced me to that graduation, thinking you'd mock me, but the truth spoke for itself. You showed the world who you are, and now you're reaping it.
Leave.
We have no ties, and I'm keeping it that way. Their faces shift, desperation creeping in, their masks cracking. Lily's voice breaks, her eyes glistening. Ivy, please. We're in debt. You can't kick us out. We're your family. Mom nods, her voice softer now, pleading. We're struggling, Ivy.
You're doing so well.
Help us, for Lily's sake. I walk to the door. Opening it, the rains hum louder, a cleansing sound. You kicked me out 14 years ago, left me to fend for myself. You don't get to waltz back in now. Clara raised me, and she's the only one who'll share in what I've built. Lily's your investment. Let her pay you back. Get out. Dad mutters something, grabbing Lily's arm, his face red with fury. Lily pulls away, her face crumpling, tears spilling, but she follows, her heels clicking on the marble. Mom hesitates, her eyes glistening, but there's no remorse, only anger, entitlement. They step into the hall, their figures shrinking, and I close the door, the click final, my heart calm. They're gone, and it's easy, easier than I ever imagined, because they were never in my life to begin with. They are my parents, Lily is my sister. I will never ignore that fact, but I will not dwell on a one-sided love. They don't care about me. They just want to rip off where they didn't sow. I forgive them, and maybe one day I will be helpful. It will be by my terms. But for now, I want them to keep the one daughter they wanted. I not need them. I return to my blueprints. The Orion satellites lines a map to the stars, my fingers tracing its curves. The rain slows, the city's lights brighter, a promise of tomorrow. I think of Clara, her farm's endless hills, her love that carried me here. I'm not the girl they sent away, the quiet one they dismissed. I'm Engineer Clark, a name that means something, a woman who's claimed her place. I sit at my desk, the world quiet, and start sketching, my heart at peace.